All right, good afternoon everyone. This is Dee with D&D Gardening and welcome to our channel. It is a absolutely beautiful day today, and today is Wednesday. I changed my display. May 7th, and it is 12:16 p.m. I am late coming out here actually, but I had some errands that I needed to run this morning, so I'm just now getting home, and thought that I would do several things out here in the garden. The most important though is that I am going to finish the drip line. I've been waiting forever to get out here and finish it, and I'm getting ready to do that right now. So come along with me.
Hello everyone, I hope to find you all in good spirits. Sit back, relax and enjoy the show. Like, comment, share and subscribe. Here's your host, Dee.
Okay, pardon me if you guys can't see me clearly. I do have the camera set on a different setting, and it is acting really wonky. But it is the proper setting for what I'm doing outside. So I don't know what's up with that. But anywho, my husband bought an extra hose because he has mounted the faucet connector onto a pole because it was too low. With the filter added onto it, it was on the ground, and we can't have that. So he mounted it on the pole for me, and I will connect this hole to that. This is the part that I've been waiting for, which is a T connector. And with this, hang on, I need my skizzers. Okay, I have to break in here. Now I just hope this hole is big enough for me to get the piece out. Okay, put that in there. This is a T connector, and this is what is going to be added to these two hoses, so I can connect it to the hose that is going to go to the faucet. So I'm going to bring you in closer so you can watch me connect it. Okay, I don't even know if you could see because I was so far away, but this is what's called a T connector. Right there. It's shaped like a T. And let me see if I can hold it this way. You connect one end of the hose here, or the tubing here, and tubing here. And then the water flows through all three tubes. So now I need to, this is one connector. This is an elbow that I had connected to the tubing because this one was connected to the rain barrel. All right, it's time for me and the mic to start fighting. So I'm going to take this connector off as soon as I can wiggle it out. All right, and then I am going to put this here on this end, and I'm going to tighten this down so it doesn't come apart. Then I'm going to take this one. I gotta take the elbow off of this one.
A few moments later.
If I can't wiggle it off, I'm gonna cut it off. Oh, it's coming. There we go. You almost got cut, tube. And I'm gonna take the other end and stick it here. Get it wiggled on, lock it down. Now, the tubing that is going to lead from this end to the faucet, I need to connect as soon as I can figure out where I put it. So let's see. Where did I put it? And instead of unwrapping all of this, I'm just gonna feed it through these little, I can't even call them zip ties because they're not zip ties. I don't want to put a kink in it because, oh, and I think I just did. Nope, not long enough. Okay, I'm gonna have to cut it. You know, I was making it harder for myself, sitting here struggling with this when I just could have cut it. I just didn't want this to unravel all over the place like it's going to do as soon as I take this last one off. Can I get away with just taking that off? I don't know. Let's see. I'm trying to give myself a generous amount of tubing, so I'm not kinking it. And then when I do bury it, I've got enough to, I got enough. All right, let me put this back. Okay, y'all, my camera and I are going to have a fight. I took it off of that new setting and it still looks like it's still on there. But anyway, so here is, and I really hope you can see, the extra tubing that I just cut. I am going to add it to this. I'm going to try to add it to it. Let me stand on this side. Alright, it's on there. And tighten it down or lock it down. And now we're going to head towards where the connections are. And that's wrapped all around this thing. Okay, so now I got my extra long tube and I'm getting ready to put it onto this connector down here. And this connector is going to allow the water to go to the raised beds and containers. Lock that down. Now I got to connect the hose. So this end is the male end, and it is going to go kind of contraption is this? Up here, my husband's going to have to secure the hose so it doesn't have a kink in it, because as it stands right now it's going to have a kink. And then this end is going to be connected to the faucet. Yeah, it's going to have a little kink. Alrighty, so I don't know if he's going to connect, secure the hose like this to keep that kink out of it, but he will figure that out, because the weight I don't think is good on this little bracket that he has here. So I'm just going to leave it, but that is that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my my GoPro and walk you guys through the actual connections. Now we are going to start with how I have it actually connected. So I'm going to start at the faucet and then we'll work our way out. So here's the line that is connected to our faucet, and it's going to run up this up this pole and down into the timer and the filter. Yeah, I need to disconnect that for now. Hang on. I know this has a stand, like a little kickstand. But you're not going to be able to see anything because of that pole. Oops. Okay, that's going to have to do for now. So I'm going to disconnect it from here, and I'll have my husband fix it when he gets home. So it's going to connect there, and then it's going along. It goes to the T, and then it branches out. We're going to go on this side. So it branches out. There's another T connector that leads to, one of them leads to oh Lord Jesus, I can't talk. The bed that has my collards and my kale in. So that is there. And remember when I was saying that there had to be an elbow at the bottom to move the tubing up, and then another elbow to move the tubing into the raised bed? Here is the first elbow, and then the second elbow is right there. And then I'm not going to show you on this one because this one is closed off to little critters that are trying to eat it, but I'll show you on another bed. And that's where that connection stops. I have, with 1/4 inch tubing, connected it there to go into this pot that has the ground cherry. Now following this along, there's another T connector, and I'll tell you about that one because we're going to head over there after we finish this side. But then that tubing is going alongside this bed. Okay, let me back up because I didn't show you this connection with the elbow here and the elbow there that leads it into this bed. And here's the on-off valve. So if I don't want to water this bed, all I got to do is turn this like that, and it turns off the water going into this bed. So now we're going to follow this on. I have another T connector and 2 more elbows because those 2 elbows go into this bed. But then I have branched off with 1/4-inch tubing into each one of these pots or these tubs that have the potatoes in them. And I need to water these sweet potato slips because they're not looking too good. They need to be wet. But here at this bed is an on-off switch as well. And so now we're going to get to the pepper bed, and the tubing that I said we were going to that I was going to mention later, that tubing is this way. Here is the elbow and the 2 elbows, and then here is the shutoff valve, and then I have a line going straight into the bed, another line going straight into the bed, and then I have a 3rd line going straight into the bed. I hope you can see that. And they are going straight down the middle of this bed. So when I turn the water on to water, then it's going to completely water the whole entire bed. And I have the same thing over here for this one. The main connector with the shutoff valve is down here at this end. And then you can see the 1/4-inch tubing with the emitters draped through this bed. Now, I came the long way. Oh my goodness. Who knocked you down? Or did you just get top? Oh my. Alright y'all, hang on. I gotta perform, not surgery, but I need to give this one some support because him fall down hard. Alright, hang on. Alright, I have a bamboo pole that I am going to put. Alright, y'all stop. Go on, little butterfly. I don't even see where he comes out the ground. I think it's right there. Alright, I got my pole in. I'm gonna have to sit y'all down. I don't know if y'all gonna be able to see me or not, but I'm sure gonna try. Nope, you're not gonna be able to see me. So bear with me because I gotta fix this. If anybody gonna be laying down on the job, it's gonna be me, not y'all. All right, get in there. Some of these little clamps work and some of them don't. And this one is rebelling. That's okay. I bought back up. Sure did. So you can fight all you want to. Now, how about that? Looks like I need to take these peppers off of here. Y'all, we've been getting nothing but rain. And it is... Let me pick y'all up while I'm talking. I hope I've been recording. It says I have. But I need to get these peppers off of there because I don't know if it fell over because it was too heavy, top heavy, or what. But yeah, I gotta take those peppers off of there. And there's some growing there too. Okay, so my fixing of that plant is done. Y'all, I don't know about these. But anyway, I done got sidetracked. Okay. Oh, sweet Jesus. And now here comes a helicopter. I swear I don't live by an airport, y'all. I swear. Okay, so here is the two elbows with the shut-off, on-off valve right there that leads to this bed. Now you can see I've got, what am I saying? Those little sprinkler heads daisy chained into each container. Now I don't have them in those because I just need to switch these three out and put those two, because it looked like that died, but switch those two into these places, but they were just placeholders while I was setting it up. So I did the same thing with, and that tubing wrapped around this bed and came down here and is running through here. Now, it was set up this way because I had it going to the rain barrel. It is no longer going to the rain barrel because in order to have it, oh, well, he's gone. In order to have it running from the rain barrel, I have to have a water pump that will provide enough PSI to move the water through the tubing so it can reach every area that it is set up on. And I'm not going to buy a water pump, so we're just going to run it from the faucet. The rainwater that I catch, however, I am going to use it when I am fertilizing, and I'm also going to use it when I am starting my seeds. I'm also going to use it when, things like that I need water for the garden. But again, all right now, they're getting too close. These, so I have it, the same daisy chain happening with all of these buckets, and here is where it is connected to this drip line, the main drip line, and here is where it's connected to the main drip line for that row. And then I've just showed you the one for this row, and the one for this row is right here, and these are daisy chained all the way down. The Brussels sprouts are looking better since I've taken off the dead leaves. However, they still got holes in them. They have just been having a field day out here. But anywho, back to the tubing, the drip line. So I have an elbow there to make the water line go this way. So it is running along the back of the fence and running along, and then I have it stopping right here. So I have an elbow down there at that end to make the tube come this way. And from this main tubing, I have 1/4-inch tubing, and the main tubing is 1/2 inch. This tubing is 1/4 inch, and so I have two emitters, two shower sprinkler head thingies, and the cement trays. I have 2 in this one, and I have 2 in this one, and all of these are connected to that one main line. And back there, you can't see it, but there's an on-off switch that turns it off if I don't want to water anything else over here. Then, as you can see here, I have a cross that is connecting more tubing to feed into these containers here. So that is pretty much the tomato bed. Okay, how am I going to get around here? Because everything is growing so much, I almost can't walk through it. My backyard's too tiny. But the tomatoes I got some that look like they are about ready to pick, because these are the honeycomb hybrid cherry tomatoes. So I'm going to have to come back out here and pick those. Okay, now around the forest of cucumber and beans and peas, and come around here. Now the connector to the tomato bed is in the back, and you can see I did the best I could to weave through this little brown, the same 1/4 inch tubing with the 6-inch emitters, spread through. And all of that is, I've got 4 tubes through in this bed. Because it's a 4-foot bed, I have 1 tube per foot, or per square foot. And then, because it was connected to the rain barrel, let me stand over here, because the tubing was initially set up and connected to the rain barrel, I had to extend it so I could run it through here to meet up with the other tubing that is feeding that side of the garden. And then the T I just put in, and that has it running straight to the connector for the faucet. And that's it. All right, are we straight? No, we're not straight. But let's make sure I'm not tripping over nothing, because I do have a lot of stuff still back here. Okay, so that is the end of the drip line installation, finally. And I say finally, my husband still needs to put that piece up on the pole so he can mount the hose so it's not creating a dent, or a, it's not bending it so it can stop the water flow. Yes, it was, oh my God. Yeah, it wasn't as bad as I'm making it seem, but once you get into it, the hardest part was me starting. That was the hardest part, because I was like, okay, where do I start? Where do I begin? And the way I started was, I started at the water source and I worked my way out. I thought that was the best way for me to do it. And this is how I ended up. I know, it's just organized chaos is what it is. So anyway, thank you for joining me, and I apologize for the length of time that it took for me to actually do this one video, when I've seen hundreds of videos that have all of this in one video. Well, I can't do that. So anywho, thank you for joining me. Remember to that is not even how you do that. Let's start that over. Take 2. Thank you for joining me. If this is your first time or your 5th time watching one of our videos or visiting our channel, hit that subscribe button. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be notified the next time we upload a video. And always remember, grow your own, eat your own. And until I see you the next time, take care. Bye.
Thank you for watching. See you on the next one.